Good afternoon and welcome to the Boldness on 3CR 8:55 a.m. on Wednesday, the 15th of March 2023. The Boldness is about standing up for your human rights instead of waiting for some well-meaning person to give them to you. My name is Raphael, the Virologist, Caleb. What has been the news for people with a disability over March? First off, indexation of Centrelink payments takes place on the 20th of March. What this means is people receiving a Centrelink payment get an increase in their payment. That means people with a disability will receive more money in their bank account. But this increase is an indexed rate of increase, which is supposed to cover the cost of living. Let's consider some practical examples. At a local supermarket, the price of generic 1 litre long life lactose-free milk is now $2, an increase of 30 cents from $1.70. That's a percentage increase of 17% on one item. A can of 400 grams of tomatoes is now $1.10, up from 80 cents. That's an increase of 37.5%. The price of rent is skyrocketing. It is very difficult for people to find affordable rentals, especially if a person has a disability and their source of income is the disability support pension. With this in mind, it is safe to say the indexed rate of increase to Centrelink payments, including the disability support pension, is not keeping up with the increased cost of living, meaning that people with a disability are further marginalised and disadvantaged in the community. The Anti-Poverty Centre is urging the federal government to increase the rate of Centrelink payments to at least the Henderson poverty line in the May federal budget. For further details, go to the Anti-Poverty Centre website www.antipovertycentre.org. That's all lower case. And again, the Anti-Poverty Centre website is www.antipovertycentre.org, all lowercase, one word. Now for an update on the Robo-Debt Royal Commission. On the 16th of March, the Honourable Bill Shorten, Federal Minister for Disability, told the Royal Commission that 37% of the victims of robo-debts that advocates have represented do have a disability. The Honourable Bill Shorten also added the federal government, at the request of the Royal Commission, has given an extension to reporting dates to the Robodebt Royal Commission to the 30th of June this year. Disability advocates repeatedly told the federal coalition government that they had concerns about the averaging process, the automatic application of a 10% interest fee, the unreliability of the automated process, and the victims of robo-debt had to chase information from employers. I was among those people with a disability who was issued with an illegal robo-debt. At the time, Centrelink staff told me that the entire investigation was over the phone. I was not entitled to have an independent witness or a support person. I brought it to their attention that when a person with a disability is questioned by the police, they are entitled to have an independent witness. Centrelink denied this to me for an illegal robo-debt. Centrelink staff told me that I had to get the pay slips from my past employer that I had stopped working for to prove that I was innocent. I asked Centrelink for the phone recordings from when I reported my income. Centrelink told me they could not give me that information. What this meant was that I was not able to cross-check the information that was submitted against what my pay slips were for the relevant time. I sought legal advice. Centrelink gave me a 50-page document of calculations that no one could understand how they did their calculations. Instead of the summary, which was a computer screen that the lawyer instructed me to ask for from Centrelink. This meant no one could follow how they actually came up with the calculations, let alone attempt to understand what they were actually doing. Centrelink kept on increasing my alleged debt, which is part of the illegal robo-debt scheme, as they kept recalculating it. I ended up going to the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, who ordered Centrelink to refund the money that I had repaid. Centrelink's response was to change my reporting dates retrospectively 7 years after I reported the income on the right days for the right fortnight 7 years earlier, and then told me I had not met their reporting requirements. My big question is for Centrelink: how can any reasonable person expect me to report on the right days when those days are actually changed 7 years later, and then accuse me of not actually reporting the right amount of income on dates which have been changed at a later time. Of course, Centrelink does not acknowledge or understand it's not possible to do so. It is now 2023. I still have not received a refund of an illegal robo debt that I never should have occurred. And that is consistent with what the advocates for people with a disability have been telling the Robo Debt Commission. Recently, a person with a disability emailed the Boldness saying that people with a disability were buying mobility aids online and not receiving them. The Boldness is reiterating that people with a disability are vulnerable to scams. Stay alert. When buying equipment and using services, especially using NDIS packages, to make sure they are using reputable companies. The Boldness would also like to add that there are some truly heartless people out in the community and who do prey on people with a disability